Even after a guilty murder conviction, Huntsville Police Chief Mark McMurray and Mayor Tommy Battle continued to support Darby and claim he acted within policy.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
For over a year, we've discussed on this show how the tragic disgrace of Jeffrey Parker's murder took place at the hands of Huntsville police officer William Darby. And unfortunately, we have yet another disgraceful update to this case. For those of you not familiar, really recommend the reporting of Ashley Remkus from AL.com. I'm going to quote a little bit from her original piece about this case. On April 3rd, 2018, Parker was suicidal, and he called 911 in a cry for help. Officers responded, and they found him on his couch with a gun pointed at his head, a gun later determined to be a flare gun. While the veteran officers were on the scene de-escalating the situation, Officer William Darby arrived at the scene. Quoting from Remkus, quote, body camera video showed Darby grab a shotgun from his patrol car and sprint to the house. Less than a minute later, he shot Parker in the face. Ultimately, Officer Darby was charged with murder and convicted by a jury in May 2021, and that was despite the City of Huntsville's steadfast support of Darby and their efforts to keep information about this case from the public. That was after the Huntsville City Council approved $125,000 in public tax dollars to pay for Darby's defense attorneys. And most amazingly to me is that even after a guilty murder conviction, Huntsville Police Chief Mark McMurray and Mayor Tommy Battle continued to support Darby and claim he acted within policy. The mayor said he, quote, disagreed with the verdict.
Not only them, but the president of the largest national police union, Federation of Police, has continued to advocate for Huntsville's murderer cop and go on local radio shows talking about how this is a wrongful conviction.
Right. This is the law and order crowd, right, that we were just discussing. Well, the city's efforts to shield this case from the public and the press won them the dishonor of the so-called Golden Padlock Award, which we discussed earlier this summer. Each year, investigative reporters from across the country nominate the most secretive public officials and government entities for the prize. And it's really something that a city the size of Huntsville won this dishonor over cities and other government agencies across the nation. And now the secrecy continues. Again, from Ashley Remkus on her latest piece, the City of Huntsville won't reveal how much public money it is spending on outside lawyers, arguing that information is confidential under attorney-client privilege. AO.com requested that the city release records of expenditures related to the case of William Ben Darby, the Huntsville police officer convicted of murder last summer for shooting and killing Jeff Parker. So, they're going to keep it secret. Your tax dollars at work, paying for outside attorneys. AO.com.
How are they even doing that after having spent? So did they allot $125,000, but we don't know how much of that they have spent, or they allotted $125,000 and they went over it, and now they're continuing to spend money and we don't know how much?
Frankly, I think we don't know, and I think that's part of what AO.com is trying to get out. Maybe I'm mistaken there, but I think that's kind of the problem, is that we don't know, and because they won't release any records, it's hard to figure out what, is this part of the $125,000, or is it additional funding? Where's this coming from in the budget? A lot of questions here, and, unfortunately, the city of Huntsville just refuses to be transparent. And to me, it's interesting that the city of Huntsville promotes itself as one of the best places to live in the United States. But obviously, police violence and lack of government transparency are not two of the factors they consider. The people of Huntsville really deserve better.
Absolutely. I don't even understand how they are getting the argument that the amount of money spent is attorney-client privilege.
Or where these payments are going to,
Yeah.
right? If the city of Huntsville is writing a check to an attorney, that should be public record. They don't have to tell us everything that was discussed in the lawyer's office, right? That's fair enough. But the payments themselves, come on now.
Yeah. You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.